I'm here to tell a story I heard from my cousin. Under normal circumstances, I'd never reveal her story to the world. But after a disturbing incident that happened at my workplace, I decided I must. For privacy reasons, I'll call my cousin Melanie. Melanie has a friend who frequented the dark web, who I will call Jessica. From what I understand, Jessica never got Melanie involved with her pastime. But one day, Jessica sent her a video that would kick off a series of events that would bring fear and paranoia to all involved. Melanie was a fan of a YouTube channel called The Sun and Moon Show. For those who don't know, it's a channel that features Sunrise and Moondrop, the daycare animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. The video Jessica sent was based on that. It's called The Sun and Moon Show, The Real Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon was an animatronic from the channel that loved killing, torturing, and drinking blood. I've never seen or obtained the video, so I can't post it with my story. I can, however, tell you what happened based on Melanie's description. The video started with Eclipse pacing in Sun's mindscape, mumbling curses under his breath. He then wished out loud that he could make an AI to take over Moon's body. As soon as Eclipse said that, a black mist appeared before him before materializing into a dark being. It was a male demonic figure twice Eclipse's height, with narrow black eyes, 3 curved horns, and a tail long enough to touch the ground. Eclipse stumbled backward, nearly losing his balance as he backed away from the creature. The demon looked down at him, amused by the robot's reaction. After regaining his composure, Eclipse demanded to know who the humanoid was. The demon introduced himself as Chaoticus. He claimed he'd been watching Eclipse for some time and wanted to make his dreams a reality. Eclipse asked Chaoticus why he should trust him, the skepticism clear in his tone. Chaoticus responded by asking Eclipse how he wanted his accomplice to look. Eclipse was silent for a few seconds before answering. Chaoticus knelt down and grabbed the vast sheet of cloud that made up the ground with both hands. He then pulled off a big chunk of cloud and started molding it into a human-like figure. Finally, Chaoticus placed a hand on the cloudy figure and started chanting in a strange language. During the ritual, a red glow emitted from the cloud. When Chaoticus finished, the cloud dissolved, revealing Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon's eyes were closed as his body rested on Chaoticus's hand, limp as a rag doll. Chaoticus placed Bloodmoon on the ground before Eclipse, before asking if he was satisfied. He then introduced the lifeless robot as Bloodmoon. Eclipse looked down at Bloodmoon, trying to process it all. Taking advantage of the silence, Chaoticus asked Eclipse if he knew how to program an animatronic. Eclipse confirmed, saying he had Moon's knowledge. Before Chaoticus left, Eclipse asked what he was getting out of everything. Chaoticus smiled, revealing his black, crooked teeth. The demon claimed that he wasn't after anything. He just wanted to see the chaos Eclipse and Bloodmoon would unleash. Chaoticus morphed back into the black mist before fading into nothingness. The scene then transitioned to Chaoticus outside at night, watching Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex from a distance as a blood moon rose from behind it. He then started a monologue, claiming that Eclipse had no idea what he was going to release into the world. He said it would only be a matter of time before Antiphonus and Damascus return. The video changed once more, this time to a village that Melanie believed was in colonial America. It was late at night and a drunk villager was roaming the streets. Trailing behind him was a shadowy figure. The silhouette was tall and lean and appeared to have 2 heads. The figure was gaining on the villager, occasionally hiding behind something every time he looked back. When the being was close enough, it pounced on the villager. The shadow's 2 heads then bit down on him, followed by what sounded like sucking noises. The villager screamed and struggled for a moment before going quiet. After that, the shadowy figure stood up and faced the camera. The scene then lit up enough to reveal the figure's features. The being was human-like, with 2 heads instead of 1. Their eyes were black, with glowing pentagrams for pupils. The left head's pupils were red, and the right head's were white. Blood stained the entity's mouths and clothes. "Another successful hunt, dear brother," the left head said. "Agreed," the right head replied before licking the blood off his lips. "The drunk prey don't have the best tasting blood, but watching him suffer as we drained him was just as wonderful, Damascus." Yep, the Antiphonos and Damascus Chaoticus spoke of were a set of conjoined vampire twins. The next couple of minutes consisted of Antiphonos and Damascus killing villagers, either on the streets or in their own homes. The most disturbing thing was how realistic the slaughter was. What's more, it was abnormally violent for the Sun and Moon show. The bloodshed montage ended with Antiphonos and Damascus roaming the outskirts. The full moon's light shone down on the blood-covered twins. The silence of the night was interrupted by a slight rustle. Antiphonos and Damascus turned around and saw someone approaching them. The stranger was dressed in black and had a quiver strapped to his side. He wielded a loaded crossbow aimed at Antiphonos and Damascus. "Oh, look," Damascus said with a mocking tone. "Another lowly vampire hunter. Shall we make his death quick and painless like the last one, Antiphonos?" Antiphonos agreed before the 2 lunged at the vampire hunter. The twins and the vampire hunter fought until Antiphonos and Damascus managed to pin their enemy down. Both heads lowered, ready to bite the vampire hunter. But before they could do that, Antiphonos suddenly screamed in pain. The vampire hunter was released as Antiphonos and Damascus stood up, covering Antiphonos' cheek. The hand covering the cheek slowly moved away, revealing a bleeding bite mark. The vampire hunter smiled, revealing his bloody teeth. He then wiped his top canine teeth with his finger. The camera zoomed in on his mouth, which showed that the canines looked metallic. The vampire hunter revealed that his canine teeth were replaced with ones made of silver. Furious, Antiphonos and Damascus attacked again. The vampire hunter quickly pulled an arrow out of his quiver and stabbed it through the chest of the conjoined twins. Antiphonos and Damascus yelled in unison as they stumbled backward. While they tried to remove the arrow, the vampire hunter grabbed his crossbow, reloaded it, and fired it at his adversaries. The arrow went right through Antiphonos' head. Damascus watched in horror as his brother died. He then turned to the vampire hunter and glared at him. But before he could do anything, the vampire hunter shot an arrow through his head. The conjoined bodies lied motionless on the ground, one of the heads propped up by the arrow lodged into it. The scene transitioned to the vampire hunter digging a hole next to Antiphonos and Damascus. He then pushed them into the hole with his shovel before burying them and walking away. The video then initiated a time lapse, fast-forwarding through an unknown amount of time. The village went from a small cluster of houses to a large city. Near the end of the time lapse, a construction site appeared where the battle occurred. The video also showed scenes of the building's interior as the construction progressed. One of the building's rooms had a long bump about 2 inches high in the dirt. The dirt was covered in blue flooring as more things were added to the room, such as play structures and a ball pit. The time-lapse ended with a sign reading "Superstar Daycare" being painted on one of the walls. The video faded back to the scene with Chaoticus watching the Pizzaplex. It's a shame that bodies made with demon magic caused the souls placed in them to lose their memory, the demon sighed. Antiphonos and Damascus won't even remember each other. No matter? As long as they get to keep their murderous nature, I will still get the chaos I crave. The video ended with a familiar outro scene. At first, I didn't believe or understand why that video was from the dark web. The reasons weren't apparent until a day after Melanie saw it. When Jessica sent the video to Melanie, it somehow got sent to everyone else in her contact list. Some of the recipients were my coworkers. I won't say the name of my employer, but it's like the Pizzaplex except smaller and less advanced. Every kid who napped in the daycare had a nightmare of a two-headed monster. Some even woke up with bite marks on them. Nobody, not even the CCTV cameras, could figure out what's going on. After seeing the video, my coworkers believed that there was a dead body in their workplace's daycare. My coworkers planned to hire a psychic to pinpoint the location of the supposed grave. They would then pry the floorboards and dig up the body. About 2 weeks after receiving the video, my coworkers finally did it. They broke into our workplace one night with a psychic and actually dug up the daycare floor. They even recorded their little excavation and posted it on social media. When I saw their video, I nearly fainted from shock. That's because my coworkers uncovered a two-headed skeleton. The discovery brought a lot of trouble to my employer, mostly legal. It got so bad that the Pizzaplex was almost shut down. The only reason I still have a job is because management was able to remove the skeleton. The nightmares and mysterious injuries stopped after it was gone. I don't know if the guys running the Sun and Moon show knew the truth, or if it was all a crazy coincidence. I also have doubts whether they made the video that started all of this or not. In any case, I hope that the spirits of Antiphonos and Damascus never hurt anyone again.